Rockstar Gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome, man. Late as always, but better late than never. I'll say that. Late as always, but better late than never. Am I right? Am I right? So what's good, fam? What's good? What's good? Appreciate everyone in here. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Man, that is not what I want to talk about today. That's what I want to talk about. Carolina Panthers playoff run. Can it be done? Can it be done? Can Bryce Young have that 2025 breakout here? We're going to dive into that. We're also going to dive into I gave you my early predictions last night. I'm going to tell you why I think 9-8. I'm going to tell you what I like and dislike about our schedule. I didn't really dive into that as much. I'm also going to talk about the four toughest games that we're going to have. We're going to talk about the tough stretches. Or we're really going to talk about how easy it is, because it's a fairly easy schedule. So we're really going to dive deep into this schedule again today. And so without further ado, let's get the schedule pulled up. I'm not going to put my wins or losses up there right now. And I'm not going to pull that one up. I'm just going to pull the regular schedule up. Okay. Let me do this. Make this full screen. Share this. Hop over here. Share screen. Go window. Go here. Go bam. There you go. Okay, looking at this schedule. All right. Looking at this schedule. First things first. So I'm going to tell you why I think 9-8 when I look at this schedule. Why I think that prediction holds very well. Okay. My consensus wins on this schedule. We went through it last night. We broke it down. I put the W's and the L's where they needed to be. Okay. My consensus 7 wins for sure is Jaguars. Okay. And a lot of other people I've seen out there with a lot of predictions, automatically, Jaguars week 1 is a win. A lot of predictions already out there about that. I think they're going to outplay a Jacksonville team under a new head coach who has it's been an inconsistent team. No offense to the Jaguars fans. I have nothing against them. They have something against me because I put a meme up on X that just like went viral and then all these so now I've got these Jaguars fans coming for my head, but that's neither here nor there. So again, that's why I see that as a consensus win. What's good, Earl? I'll hit that like button on the way in. I think we'll be 10-7. I say week 11, 13 is going to be difficult for us because we have less time to prepare for those games and we have a later bye week. We'll dive more into that, Matt. But I think another thing is Patriots. Another reason why I think that's a consensus win is you got Drake May versus I think who's got a new head coach, Mike Vrabel, who I think Mike Vrabel will have that Patriots team on firing on all cylinders. Not at the beginning, though. And so you're catching the Patriots at a good time. I think Carolina wins that game. That's a consensus one for me. Jets, I think, will be an ugly defensive slugfest. I think Carolina wins with like fewer mistakes. Okay. That's just how the Jets are. Saints are a mess. We take care of business. Rams, both see Carolina grinding out and ups. I could see the Rams. Here's the thing. I didn't pick the Rams last night to win for us because, again, that was my early prediction. We're going to have my final schedule prediction once we get, closer towards the regular season. But I could see the Rams as a consensus win. I could see this where Carolina grinds out an upset at home. I think also an interesting upset could be at home is the Buffalo Bills game. They're coming off a bye week, so they could be a little rusty. Another consensus again is the Saints. I think the Saints, we sweep them. It's very easy for me. Seahawks, I think that's another one we could roll at home against a team that's kind of, I feel like the Seattle Seahawks are fading towards soon to be a rebuild, in my opinion. They're I feel like that's where they're headed. I mean, they're not I mean, they got big. I mean, yeah, Sam Darnold's coming off his best year of his career. That was in Minnesota under Kevin O'Connell, but I just don't see it being that way for us right now. So again, that's why, I mean, those are my consensus. I could see those being my consensus. I would say likely and probable wins are the Falcons at week 3. You know, you could split between predictions, home field plus last year's success tips towards a win there. Week 16 against the Buccaneers, I've seen sources say that we win. I've seen sources say we lose. With late season stakes, because that last 2 games of the season between the Bucks at week 16 and week 18, that could be playoff, you know, that could be playoff. It could be a playoff matchup. It could predict whether Carolina goes to playoffs or not. Right now, the likely loss. I mean, I would say these are likely losses, but I picked that we would beat the Cardinals. I think week 1 and week 2 we go undefeated. I think we win. But I could see us going to the Cardinals and losing on an early West Coast trip. Like, Kyler Murray's inconsistent, but the Cardinals have done very well in rebuilding that defense. And you know, Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, Trey McBride broke out last year. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. going in his second year. There's no telling how that offense is going to look now. But I think week 5 is still a loss. I mean, I've seen people predict that they think Miami's going to beat us, but Miami's basically a track team on offense. And it's just a bad matchup for our secondary, I think. Dallas, the same thing. Another elite defense. It's a bad matchup for Carolina. The Bills, again, that's another loss that I could see, but I could see this upset, right? I've already said that. But the Packers, Lambeau plus Jordan Love plus the cold, that could equal trouble. I mean, you're going to lose one of the games to Atlanta. Whether you lose, I think we split the series with Atlanta, whether it's week 3 or week 11. It doesn't matter. You're losing one of those, okay? I think the San Francisco game is a complete mismatch in prime time. And then again, one of those Tampa Bay, I think we split the series with Tampa, whether it's at home or away, but it always seems that Tampa Bay always ends up like closing the door on us. You know what I mean? Like, it just always seems that way, that they end up closing the door on us somehow, some way. And it just, that's the way it is. I mean, again, I think for this team, based off this schedule, like, we're looking at a ceiling of 10-7. Like, if you can sneak you could sneak that one of the Rams game or the Buffalo Bills game, one of those or more or both. You know, I could see it. I think the floor is 7-10. Like, if things unravel late, injuries pile up, I still see 7-10. Still be 2 more wins, would be progress more than what we had last year. And then I think the most realistic outcome, though, is 9-8. And you're narrowly missing the playoffs, or you're just sniffing a wild card spot. I think the key themes for this year, though, guys, going into this season, though, is that Bryce Young has to improve. I don't think he's elite, but he's got to improve and he's got to come out. I need basically I need the first. I told y'all I'm going to give him till November of this year. That's my goal. I'm going to give him to November this year. Okay. So basically, I'm going to give him till basically week 9. Week 9, week 10 in that range, probably. Maybe week 11. Maybe probably week 9. Week 9, week 10. That's where I'm giving him to really take it up a notch. All right. I think another thing is Dave Canales brings structure and discipline that we've been needing. We've been waiting for out of a head coach, and now we have that. Right. Defense needs to be opportunistic, not dominant. They just need to be opportunistic. And Evero's got to get these guys right and developed into his scheme and use them correctly in his scheme. Right. Because guys, we're still rebuilding. But with legit progress and hope for 2026, hope for 2026 as well. But this is a year that we could really take a major leap forward. That's why I just think 9-8 is the most realistic, in my opinion. I think 9-8 is the most realistic. Right? I think 9-8 is most realistic. Now, another thing. Here's one thing I love about this schedule. So let's go into my likes, dislikes, love/hate, whatever you want to call it. Okay. First things first, what I love about this schedule, what I like about this schedule is the season opener. I like that we're opening up against Jacksonville. Okay. Because for once, the NFL didn't screw us by sticking us on the road against a divisional opponent right out the gate. Right. Or at home with a divisional rival. Instead, we're getting something a little poetic now at this point. We're getting a homeowner against Jacksonville, the Jaguars. We're that was our 95 expansion brother in mediocrity. But here's where things get juicy. And I'm gonna pull up something else real cool. Well, no, I won't pull it up because there's no point. But think about it this way, and here's a fun fact for you. The last 2 times the Panthers opened up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, can anybody in the comment section tell me what happened when Carolina opened up their season against Jacksonville? Can anybody tell me in the chat? Exactly. Super Bowl appearances, Zach. Guys, do me a favor as you're coming in. There's a few of you already in here. Make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Okay. Also, we got a live goal in this live goal heading right now. Okay. We've got a live goal on this channel right now. Yeah, you spelled it wrong. It's all good, Zach. But yeah, you knew where I was going with this. Man, Clay, don't start. I'm not saying that we're gonna make the Super Bowl, so relax. Let's take a chill pill. Let's chill. No one is saying that here, okay? No one is saying that. Guys, we've got over 20 people watching. Make sure you pound that like button. All right. We've got, there's no reason why we shouldn't have 20 likes already. It's super easy, and I demand it. Okay. I'm not even asking anymore. I demand it. It helps the channel out so much. But we do have a live goal chat. All right. We got a live goal. 15 teal super chats is the live goal tonight. It's going towards jersey and ticket giveaways. Okay. It's going to jersey and ticket giveaways for you guys that I will announce coming up here soon. So make sure we try to reach at least part of that goal. We got 15 out of them. I know that's hard. That's a lot to ask, but I'm just asking for it. Also, if you're feeling generous, feel free to donate to the channel. Venmo at Clay Rop or Cash App, the $ Clay Rop. All right. It's up at the top. Feel free to become a member today as well. It's less than a cup of coffee from Starbucks. All right. All right. So, yes. So that's why I like the opening up with Jacksonville, because the last 2 times Carolina has opened up against the Jags, which was back in 2003 and 2015. And both of those years have in common that just the 2 best damn season in franchise history, Super Bowl runs, baby. So maybe it's complete superstition, okay? Or maybe it is a cosmic symmetry, okay? Either way, it beats starting the season 0-1 in Atlanta or in New Orleans again. Also, the Jags aren't exactly world beaters right now. It's a winnable game with narrative juice. We get to see Bryce versus Travis. We get to see T-Mac versus Travis Hunter. Bryce versus Travis Hunter. Trevor Etienne, Travis Etienne. Brothers. So God knows this team too as well. That God knows that this Carolina Panthers team needs some juice, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. God knows this team needs some juice. Vietnam, I cannot help that, man. I cannot help that. I cannot help that. The giveaways, again, giveaways, man. Maybe I just need to do more of them. I try to do a couple per year. I do a jersey giveaway and a ticket giveaway like twice a year. So I don't know how much more I can do. So, but we should just do some fun ones as well. We should just do some fun ones like Amazon gift cards, DoorDash gift cards. Like, I think any of you guys would probably be down for that, right? You know what I mean? So Phenom goes like, it's like giving away my money. I can't help that, man. I cannot help that. You know what I mean? I cannot help that you just don't win, buddy. It's not my fault. The wheel spin has its own magic power, you know what I mean? Luck is on your side, though. I feel it coming, Vietnam. One thing I don't like about this schedule, though, I'll say this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like, the week 14 bye, like, are you kidding me? Somehow the scheduling algorithm or whatever half drunk committee is responsible, deciding that the Panthers deserve one of the latest bye weeks in the league, week 14. So that means that we've got 13 straight weeks of blood, sweat, and orthopedic surgeries before these guys get a break, right? Hopefully not any surgeries. But, Clay, do you take EBT? Yeah, I'll swipe it right now. Let's be real. The Panthers are not built to survive that kind of marathon. Last year's roster was, tri-age by a unit by mid-season. You had undrafted rookies and grocery store clerks getting meaningful snaps by November. Like, I'm sorry, that team last year, man, we had practice squad players playing, man. It just, they were grocery baggers. I hate that's terrible to say, but it's the truth. Like, but now we have this late bye week. This isn't a breather, man. Like, this is punishment. By the time it hits, half of the starters hopefully aren't in walking boots. Hopefully half the starters are still upright and vertical. Unless this team, hopefully we got to hope that this team gets lucky with 0 injuries or at least the minimum of injuries. And that's a brutal ask for 13 straight weeks because it's one that could derail the season before it enters the final stretch. So that's the biggest thing, you know? The biggest thing was week 14 for me. Like I don't like the fact that we have a bye week at week 14. I just don't. Now, what I do like on this schedule is I love the fact that we actually got a prime time game. Where prime time's back. We got a prime time game, Monday Night Football, November 24th. Last year the Panthers weren't allowed within 50 miles of an it felt like a 50 miles of a national audience, but we didn't deserve it either. But watching the offense last year starting up, to be honest with you, was painful. And it just seemed like that offense was it was embarrassing. But, luckily enough for us last year, we came back around those last 12 weeks once Bryce came back in. And we've got the one Monday night slot, week 12. Again, it's week 12 versus the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey. Could it be a revenge game? Maybe. We'll have to see where he's at, if he's going to be available. Like, I know he's been dealing with the Achilles and the ankles injury or whatever it is. I think it's his ankles. I think it's both ankles or it's both Achilles, whatever it is. I can't remember what his status is what his status is when it comes to his injuries. As of right now, I haven't heard anything. I have not heard any updates on that. Because I know that, like, the last thing I heard, he was like in Germany somewhere with a specialist. Something crazy like that to get his Achilles, I guess, reattached. I don't know. But I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly what his status is going to be. But the way I look at it is with this is it's something. Like, national televised game means relevance, even if it's just for a week. Just don't get blown out by 30 on live television. Okay. That's all I ask. What I don't like is we're going through a meat grinder from week 8 through week 13. That is the biggest that is stretch is crazy. Home for Buffalo, at Green Bay, home for the Saints, at Atlanta, at San Fran, and then home against the Rams. That is a sadistic gauntlet of playoff caliber teams. That is Green Bay's a caliber playoff caliber team. I think Atlanta is technically could be a caliber playoff team. San Fran is always, I feel like, even though last year what happened with them, but I still feel like they're a playoff caliber team. And the Rams are most definitely a playoff caliber team. Like, that is 6 straight weeks, ladies and gentlemen, that could punch us in the mouth and steal our lunch money. Like, if the Panthers aren't at least 500 by the end of that stretch, shit, you can forget the playoff talk. This is the point where wheels could fall off. So, if Canales can coach this team to even 3-3 on that run, over that run, I mean, he definitely deserves a damn medal, or at least a lot of probably deserves most of the credit there. We get to some of these comments real quick. I don't think the starter I don't think the starter is the play in the preseason game at all this year. If they don't, they will start out slow. Somehow I think the Monday night game will be close. Could be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised either. Thank goodness we got rid of that old GM. How do you trade CMC, Brian Birds, and how to get a first round pick? Oh, Scott Shitterer, Zach, his Scott Fitterer, but I call him Scott Shitterer. The Rand game might be the worst home game. It could end up being. The Bills game is interesting. Well, here's the thing. I could see week 8 or week 13 both being one of those games where we upset. I think we're gonna get one of those. I know that I said 9-8, and I said that last night that we're gonna lose both of those games in my early prediction. But again, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we upset one of them. Buffalo Bills are coming off the bye week that week, week 8. If we're going to upset either one of them between the two, it's definitely going to be Buffalo because they're coming off the bye week. Could be rusty, but I'm not going to say that's for sure. Now, here's another thing I do like about the schedule is 5 of the Panthers' 6 division games are shoved into the back half of the season. Normally, that would suck, but for this team, it actually might be a blessing because here's why. We are one of those teams that are infamous of stumbling out the gate and then suddenly playing like an actual NFL team once the season's basically over. So this time, we have a shot to make up early mistakes when it actually matters. Like a late season divisional games, mean drama. So if it means playoff tiebreakers, it means real stakes. So let's not pretend that the NFC South is some murder row, but every team in this division, guys, is one bad quarterback week away from collapsing. So if the Panthers are anywhere near competent down the stretch, this format gives them a legitimate chance to steal the division. Okay. I like that. So again, I like that. So that's the thing. I like the back half of the having the back half of the 6 division games in the back half of the season. I don't like the week 8 through week 13 gauntlet. That's your gauntlet. Week 8 through week 13 is definitely your gauntlet. Love that I like that we got a primetime game. I hate the bye week. Do not like the bye week, but I do like the season opener. So those are my likes and dislikes of the schedule. That would be nice. That would be nice. All right, let's get into now. I do want to say this. I'm going to say the 4 toughest games, though, is definitely on this schedule. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I think the 4 toughest games on this schedule is at Lambeau Field. I think is week 13 at home against the Rams. I think at home versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. And at home versus the Bills. Those would be my top 4 toughest games. Top 5, or yeah, those would definitely be my toughest games. But here's the thing that we got to think about this schedule too, ladies and gentlemen, is like how, this strength of schedule as of right now is the 5th easiest, or we're like tied for 5th easiest, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the crazy part. That is the crazy part. But here's the thing. If this team is going to take that step forward, ladies and gentlemen, like this is where Bryce Young has to come into play. Like we have to have this talk. And I'm just going to have a little rant with you guys real quick. I think looking at this schedule, Bryce either has to show up in 2025 or the Carolina Panthers need to go ahead and move on and start prepping for their next quarterback. Because the training wheels are off. There's no more excuses at all for him. I'm a Bryce Young believer. I want this kid to succeed. Okay. But here's the thing. I feel like looking at this schedule, even though I predict a 9-8 record, I do see that ceiling of what I told y'all earlier of, 10-7. Okay. That automatically would win us the division. We'd be in the playoffs. Very easy. Okay. But the thing is the NFL literally gift wrapped us a golden damn opportunity with this schedule. So Bryce Young doesn't go out here and kick the damn door down this season. He never will. Okay. This is the softest. This is one of the softest schedules I've seen in a long time for us. And I'm not sitting here saying that every game's going to be winnable, but I'll say this. When you look at week 1 through week 6, you got the Jaguars again. Okay. That span from week 1 to week 6, that is basically, in my opinion, a welcome mat rolled out in front of Bryce Young. And that says that the NFL might as well send him, and to me, the NFL might as well send him a Hallmark card that says breakout now or shut up forever with that first 6 weeks, because this is a cupcake first 6 weeks, in my opinion. You got the Jaguars who had one of the worst passing defenses in football last year. I think it was literally dead last. They couldn't stop a cold. The Cardinals, they're mad. They're mid of the pack, barely playing for anything by midseason most of the time because Kyler Murray is inconsistent. Week 3, the Falcons. Bryce Young torched them in December. No reason he shouldn't be able to do it again. Week 4, new era, no bite, respectable D. Now they've got Vrabel. Drake May still learning. Dolphins, they're fast, but they're also one of those teams that are flaky. Like, the only thing that scares me is their speed with Waddle and Tyreek. Other than that, what else am I scared about? I'm not scared of Tua. You hit him one time, he's done. I'll say this, the Cowboys imploded late last year, but they also lost Dak Prescott. But they just got George Pickens. Could be the spark that they needed, but here's the thing with Bryce. Like, not one of those teams from week 1 to week 6, in my opinion, made the playoffs last year. Well, not in my opinion. They didn't. Sorry. None of those teams made the playoffs last year. Not one. From week 1 through week 6 on this schedule. So if we're talking about Bryce Young having this breakout year, if he can feast on these defenses, then it's not about, if he can't feast on these defenses, and I mean feast, if on these defenses, then it's not about the team, it's about him, and that's period. Okay? Now, I'll be honest. Last year, I didn't say he was a bust, but I did throw the word out there multiple times with Bryce Young that I said that he could end up being a bust. I never said that he was a bust. Okay? Because we got to rewind the clock for a second here. Because Bryce Young, we got to think about it this way, came into the NFL with who was supposed to be this franchise savior expectations. After Carolina gave they mortgaged their future to snag the number 1 overall pick in 2023. And what did they get in return? They got a flaming train wreck of a rookie season and 2 words, statistical horror. Then you're benched in year 2, which rightfully so, he deserved it. And it looked like the Panthers had traded everything for a guy who was closer to clipboard duty than Pro Bowl territory. But I gave the kid credit where credit's due, and he bounced back. Like, you're talking about a guy that returned late, played the last 12 weeks of the season last year, actually looked like an NFL quarterback. He wasn't lighting the league on fire, but he stopped looking overwhelmed. In his final 3 games, he put up a 111 like passer rating. It was something crazy. It was like 110 plus. I know that. I want to say it was somewhere around like 111.6 passer rating. That number sticks to my head. But I know he completed nearly like 65% of his throws. He tossed up like 7 touchdowns without a single pick. He even had 100 yards and 3 scores on the ground. So that's not just better, that's borderline dangerous. And if it as long as if it holds, great. But here's another thing. The roster now isn't a trash fire roster anymore. There's a real difference, I feel like, this year. No, like Bryce has something to work with on both sides of the ball, right? Offensive line, stable, cohesive. I wouldn't say our offensive line's elite, but I would say it's no longer a weekly disaster. You know, they went from 63 sacks in his rookie season to last year only 36. I mean, basically cutting the sacks almost in half. You know, you got rookie Rico Dowdle now in the backfield. You went and got Trevor Etienne, Chuba Hubbard coming off a 1,000-yard season. Rico Dowdle coming off a 1,000-yard season. Then now you got your wideouts. You got T-Mac, wide receiver 1, rookie, but major upside, right? Jimmy Horn Jr. brings that speed, brings that juice. Lots of upside coming out of him now. Hunter Renfrow might still have a few third down chains. I don't know. Maybe he makes the roster. Who knows? Still got Jalen Coker and Xavier Legette on the roster. Adam Thielen, Mr. Reliable. You've got the weapons. You've got the weapons. So, tight end, you got rookie Mitchell Evans. Total wild card, in my opinion, could be as sneaky effective in the red zone. Tommy Tremble has shown potential. Then you've also got Jadavion Sanders, who's definitely tight end 1, who has all the potential in the world as well. So this offense is ready. Do I think it's Super Bowl ready? Do I think it's Super Bowl ready? No, I don't think this is a Super Bowl ready offense because there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of unknown. Not just with Bryce Young, but with a lot of the new rookies, a lot of the additions that we brought in. But for the first time in years, I'll say this, it's not a punchline either. This isn't the 2023 clown car that we were riding in. It's definitely enough to compete. It's definitely enough to win some football games. But see, here's the thing that we also haven't had in a long time is leadership, stability, but we finally got that. Dan Morgan is a no-nonsense GM. Dave Canales isn't experimenting with his playbook like it's a middle school science project. And then I feel like in the first time in the David Tepper era, ladies and gentlemen, the Panthers have something resembling an organizational continuity that we haven't had in a very long time. With no drama, no revolving door of play callers, no more treating quarterback like it's a sacrificial lamb behind a paper-thin offensive line. There's actually a plan now. And can you imagine that? Because for years we just haven't had that. We have not had that, and now we do. At least I feel like we do. At least I feel like we do. Guys, can you do me a favor? Make sure you smash that like button. There's over 28 people watching, only 10 likes. I mean, shouldn't be that hard. We've got 10 likes. I don't even know what the poll question even looks like. It probably is more poll questions than likes. But guys, just hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. That's all I ask. All right. We should be getting 50 to 100 likes per live stream. It's very easy. It's just literally a click of the button. Okay. So please do me a favor, hit that like button. All right. Um, but here's the thing. For Bryce Young, I'll have to say this: the pressure cooker's on. This is year 3. It's year 3 or bust. Because I'm going to be crystal clear here. This is the year. I'm not necessarily saying I need him to take me to the Super Bowl, so let's relax. But year 3 is when the NFL quarterbacks make the leap. That is normally how it works. Or then they fade into this backup obscurity. So Young's 5th-year option decision is looming in 2026. So if Carolina isn't convinced by the end of the season, they'll pass, and they'll be right to. So nobody's handing out extensions for almost looking good in December. Like if he flames out again, especially with this schedule, it won't just be a red flag. It'll be that his obituary on the whole Bryce Young experiment. Completely done. Like, I just feel like as an organization, as a fan, we just deserve this. Like, I deserve a major win somehow, some way. Like the franchise hasn't had a winning season, guys, since 2017. Tepper's ownership has been a roller coaster of just bad decisions after bad decisions after bad decisions, and then worse results. You go from the Matt Rule to the Frank Wright, from the quarterback purgatory to the PR disasters. It's been a mess. But I feel like now I can say, oh, hope is back. But hope can be dangerous, if that makes sense. Because think about it this way. Hope can be dangerous because in the NFL, it vanishes faster than it arrives. But if Bryce Young is the real guy, if that late 2024 stretch was real, then the 2025 could be the season where we finally turn that page. Like, I mean, I just feel like the path is clear here, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like the weapons are better. The schedule is soft. The coaching staff is stable. The excuses are gone. This is it. This is the year Bryce Young proves he's more than just a flashy college resume and a failed rookie story. Either he steps up and he commands this franchise, or the Panthers will look for a replacement in the draft of next year. So if Bryce Young wants to be the face of the franchise and he wants to shut the critics up, okay, cool. Win football games. Because the ball's in your court, Bryce. The only thing is I got to say is don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Zach comes in and says, I think the run game is going to impact how the team plays the most, offense and defense. Well, yeah, I mean, Zach, we've got to learn how to stop the run. That was the biggest thing on defense. I think now you have 2,000-yard backs. You can have a nice double trouble back there, take some pressure off of Bryce. And I think that also helped out a lot last year. I think that was another reason why we saw Bryce Young take a major leap for those last 12 weeks of the season when he finally got on his feet. But he was able to rely on Chuba Hubbard and in that backfield for those guys to help him out and make some plays, right? And Chuba was getting, having 100-yard games and shit like that. Like, you need that. It takes the pressure off of you, and it opens up the pass, and it makes the game, come easier to your quarterback, in my opinion. We see it time and time again. Hopefully, our team can stay healthy. I think that with that, literally with the bye week, Underground West, that's going to be the biggest thing. That's going to be the biggest thing is from that from week 1 to week 13, we've got to hope that our guys can stay healthy because that is a very that is a long 13 games straight. 13 games straight. It's tough, man. It's tough. Excuse me. My allergies are killing me. But yeah, 13 games straight. We need the starters definitely on the field down the stretch. Yeah. I mean, the biggest stretch we need the starters down the field on. I mean, the most challenging is definitely week 8 through week 13. But the week 1 through week 6, we need to be we need to go at least 500 and then go 500 again. Like literally go 3-3 and then from week 8 to here 3-3 and then if we can beat the Jets, okay, go in the bye week 7-6. And then you have something to work on from week 15 to then. But you're going to have to go at least 500 with that stretch. That's the biggest thing. I think he can succeed. He's done amazing the second half of the season. Now that he doesn't only have 32-year-old Adam Thielen, I don't think he will have. I do think he'll have his best year yet, and he should because I think T Mac is going to open up this offense, open up the middle of the field with his presence. I think he's a guy that's also going to be a big red zone threat. A guy that actually will be a true 50-50 ball goer to go up and get it. Whereas Xavier Legette, I think, is going to be a more physical route runner, more physical receiver, which would be a nice compliment, which I could see him helping out. And then you still got Adam Thielen, Mr. Reliable. It's the biggest thing is I just don't know how this wide receiver room is going to pan out. I have an idea of where I think it's going to pan out, but either way, he's going to have some major weapons, and there's really no excuse now at this point, especially with what you got in there now. So he has to take that leap. I believe Bryce can do it, but he has to stay consistent. Yes. Underground West. Yes. Rolly, yeah, we definitely got to stop the run first for sure. How does our linebacker crew go from John Beeson, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Shaq Thompson, and Frankie Luvu to this? I hear you. Andrea Pacheco. I've already talked about this. I'm not going to go. No, nothing against your comment. I appreciate the comment. I'll just say this. I like the T-Mac pick. I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of upside. He wasn't my top wide receiver. But I'm starting to warm up to it. Okay. His film, I watched his film. I broke down his film. He wasn't my top guy. I thought Matthew Golden was a better fit. I thought his route running wasn't as crisp as I would like it to be, but it warmed up to me after I took some time, did some research, kind of slept on it. Because really what happened is what really also warmed me up to the T-Mac pick is how Dan Morgan handled this draft and went back and got Scorton and Princely. So it made the T-Mac pick. I wasn't mad about it. It was just he wasn't my top receiver. I just felt like Golden was a better pick for this team, a guy that could take the top off the defense, stretch the field, can create separation. That's why I like Golden a little bit better. But hey, it is what it is, and I'm not mad about the T-Mac pick. But the Jimmy Horn pick, loved it. I was surprised that we even got him there as late as we did. Bryce has a great O-line, solid running room, better wide receiver room, solid tight end room as well. So there is an excuse for Bryce not to strive and make the offense better. I don't disagree there, Matt. The O-line should be even better this season since they have experience together now. Yes, the continuity. Yes, exactly. All right. We need to play our starters on this preseason. Rolly, I hope so. I hope that we get to I really hope that we get to I hope they play their starters in the preseason, because when we haven't done that, we've came out so slow the first 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. We have to I hope that they do the same thing. I hope they do the same thing. So, I want us to play our starters too, because time and time again we've come out slow the first 2 weeks, and it's so frustrating. Don't even know what that is. Why are the last 2 games to be decided? I guess the dates, because we've got the bye week 14th. They got December. I wonder if the week 17 game would be sick if we had like a Christmas game. That'd be sick. That would be kind of sick. Not gonna lie. What's up, Clay? What's your estimate on Young's passing yards this year? To me, if you break it down from the math standpoint and you go look what he averaged the last 12 weeks of the season, if he would have been averaging what he was the last 12 weeks of last season, he would have ended up with around like 3,600 yards and like 25 touchdowns and like 14 picks, or like, was it 14 picks? No, less than that. It was like 6 or 7 picks. Sorry. So it'd been like 3,600 yards, 25 plus touchdowns, and it was like something like, I did the math. I know it was 3,600 and some change. And then it was like 25. It was 25 plus. It might have been like 26, 27 touchdowns. And then I think it was like somewhere around 10, 11, finished out the season with like 10 or 11 picks, maybe less than that. But either way, that's where I would want him to be. I want him to be around 3,600 yards. I want him to be around 25 plus touchdowns. And I need you to be 12 picks or less, 12 interceptions or less. And I think that's a decent year. We really don't want double-digit picks. So, but I said 12, give or take. So that's where I'm at. Guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream tonight. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. I want to see what y'all got on the poll question. What do you guys have on that poll question? So we got 26 votes, but only 15 likes. And are we looking at a 9-8 playoff run? Was the question tonight? Or are we another missed opportunity? So I said playoff team progress here or missed opportunity. And 26 of the votes say playoff team. So, I mean, shit. We'll see. Again, it comes down to the themes this year for this team is Bryce Young has to improve and be consistent like we saw the last 12 weeks. Dave Canales now brings that structure and discipline. You know, can Ejiro Evero make this defense into being opportunistic and not, doesn't necessarily need to be dominant, but can they be opportunistic? Because I still feel like we're rebuilding. So that's going to be the theme for me. Those are the key themes for this year. So, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. Make sure you guys do these 3 things. So make sure you guys do those 3 things. Make sure you pound the like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that post notification bell on your way out. Become a member today. It's less than $2 a month. Okay. All right. I got some stuff on the way. I promise you it will be. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. So it's just taking a lot of time working full time, then bringing you guys content. It takes a lot. Plus, on the other stuff like the merch and other stuff to get out to you guys, it's a lot. So working behind closed doors. So trust me, things are on the way. But right here, the link is up. You have to scroll up. I could repost it, but that's the link to become a member right there. It's actually in the description of this live stream as well. So again, always, if you're feeling generous, feel free to donate to the channel. That's the best way you can do it. Or sending a super chat. All right. Which is right there with the dollar sign. Looks like a dollar sign in a dollar bill. So other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all this week. Again, it's going to be an interesting 2025 season. Looking forward to the next coming day. It's going to have more content coming out to you guys as always. Other than that, guys, I will see you on the other side. And as always, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. I'm out. Peace.